Good morning. How are you? I'm told that I was the first one who's going to use a PowerPoint presentation. It's quite amazing how you can have a conference without seeing the visuals, so permit me to use this. And I have to coordinate with the person in the back, and I say, next. Thank you. Let's see if this works. Next. There we are. See, we're here to talk about the green economy. And the green economy is very important. Next. Watch my finger. It's better. But if it depends, yes, go ahead. But if it depends on subsidies and taxes, and if it depends on higher investments from industry and obliges the consumer to pay more, then it cannot take off. Then the green economy will remain a niche market. We have to make it mainstream. And I believe in order to make it mainstream, I have to first tell you a little story about myself. I was a green entrepreneur. I set up 10 companies. I created 10 industries, 2 of which went bankrupt, and 8 did fine. And one of these industries was Ecover. And I created this ecological factory where I paid my workers $0.50 a mile to ride the bicycle to work. And I'm from Belgium. And I guarantee you, even when you're in Belgium and it's raining, people ride the bicycle to work when they're paid to do it. But what I didn't realize with my ecological factory, with my ecological products that were so biodegradable, is that it relied on the palm oil. And so while I was cleaning up the rivers in Europe, at the same time, I was destroying the rainforest. Worse, I was destroying the habitat of the orangutan. Unintended consequences is something that we in business do not want. I believe that business does not want to do bad. Business has been too much focused on the core business, core competence, as we're all trained as MBAs. And as such, we don't see the connections to the rest of the world. We need to reconnect to the world. We need to design a competitive business model, and a business model that is based on sustainability, where sustainability is the capacity to respond to the basic needs of all, with what we have. And this is how ecosystems work. Ecosystems never work with what they don't have. Whatever is available will be used and exploited to the best of its ability according to a series of very simple principles. But, you remember this one? If you give a man a fish, he will not be hungry for the day. If you teach him how to fish, he will overfish. The wisdom of the past is not taking us to the future. And therefore, we need to rethink what are the principles of innovation. When I look at the Earth, she's blue. The Earth is not green. When I'm looking at the innovations that are given to us by this beautiful blue Earth, these blue innovations, then we're seeing some very simple principles. And the first principle is that every innovation that we should put on the market has to be inspired by how ecosystems work and evolve. And every innovation in nature is always sustainable. And guess what? They're benchmarked. This whale is also capable of pumping its own blood. You know how much voltage the whale needs to pump 1,000 liters of blood through its heart every day for 80 years without maintenance? 12 volts. So if the whale can do it with 12 volts, where are our pump manufacturers? Because I would like to submit to you that in order to pump 1,000 liters, you need a little bit more than 12 volts. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to have to copy the whale. We have to be inspired by the whale. We have to rethink, get out of the box, and imagine. Second principle is that just about anything the whale does, even though it is the largest living mammal on Earth, is based on the laws of physics. Interesting. It's physics that's determining the game, not biology and chemistry. They're subject. Because in chemistry, everything depends basically on pressure, temperature, and catalysts. But in biology, everything is different. You remember what's the exception of the little seahorse? It's a male bearing the children. The babies are born out of the tummy of the male. So whenever we want to look at predictable results for industry, then we like to be able to predict. Now, in the laws of physics, there is no exception. Physics is always predictable results. Apples fall down from the trees and hot air rises, no exception to the rule. In biology, everything is exception. And as a result, we're doing genetic modification, we're doing chemical controls, we're doing everything we can in order to have predictable results. The third one is in nature, we never see those blatant proofs of unsustainability. The razor. I'm sorry, gentlemen, did you use it this morning? 100,000 tons of titanium will be landfilled this year because we throw away razors. Next one. 40 billion batteries will be discarded and they're not going to be recycled. 40 billion batteries. Next one. And when you had your cup of coffee this morning, 99.8% of what was produced by the farmer is going to be wasted. 99.8%. Did you ever know that you were so wasteful drinking coffee? And don't think I'm drinking tea, I'm better. Because tea wastes 99.9%. Innovations in nature always generate multiple benefits. That's nice, because in business terms, that means that we can have multiple cash flows. That's great. Yes, because the coffee can be used to farm a shiitake mushroom, and the waste of the shiitake can be used to feed animals. 3 cash flows, 1 product. That's the way we do business. I'm going to give you very quickly 5 cases. In my new book, I have 100 cases. For case number 1, let's be smarter than chemistry. What do you see here? Next one. This is called the vortex. The vortex is a nonlinear mathematical model applied all the time by nature. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, but it's the most energy inefficient one. So as a result, nature has known and learned how to swirl because there's something that is called friction. And in order to overcome friction, you don't go straight in against, you swirl around. Next one. So if we now use this swirl, and by the swirling, you actually extract air from the water, because at the center of the swirl, you have 80 bar pressure, then you can produce ice without air. And when you eliminate the air, then you don't have an insulation. And when you have no insulation, you save energy. Next. You save 100,000 kilowatt hours per year by simply taking the air out the way rivers do it for millions of years. Next one. You can use exactly the same technology and you swirl it through there, and you have such a force in your vortex that the membranes of bacteria are ruptured. And now you have no bactericides anymore in your water treatment system. You eliminate the bactericide from your water treatment. Next one. And here, we're now going to make biofuels, but if you want to make biofuels, you need to have more CO2 dissolved in the water. That's done with the same technology, critical CO2 absorption. Next one. And here is the best. Drinking water without filters, without reverse osmosis. You can hardly see the little design, but 5 of these filters, which are no filters, are basically pressing the dirt out, and the little pipe on the bottom takes the dirt out, and the clean water comes out on the side. Clean water without filters, only using physics. It's operational. It's being sold in Texas. It works. The mathematical models are there. It's patented. Next one. You love this. We're going to generate wind. Sorry, gentlemen, sorry, ladies, but without the pylons. Because the pylon is already costing $1 million. So here you see the new designs of how you use the existing high voltage pylons to put vertical wind turbines inside, and now you have wind energy, large investments, using the existing pylons already on the market. In France, if you use all pylons in France, it represents 6 nuclear power stations. 6 nuclear power stations solely using what we have. That's a principle from nature.